Before you watch another wrestling match, before you cheer for your favorite superstar, you need to hear this. What if I told you that some of the darkest moments in wrestling history were never meant to be remembered? What if the company you grew up loving quietly moved on while real people lost their lives? These are not rumors. These are real deaths, real pain, and real stories that were slowly pushed into silence. Watch this video till the very end, because once you hear these names and what really happened to them, wrestling will never feel the same again. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was one of the most loved wrestlers of all time. Fans connected with him because he felt real. He smiled, he joked, and he showed emotion in the ring. But behind that smile was a body that had been pushed too far. Years of hard matches, injuries, stress, and past drug use damaged his heart. In 2005, Eddie was found dead in his hotel room. He was only 38 years old. WWE honored him for a short time, but the real discussion about wrestler health, addiction, and pressure slowly disappeared. Eddie's death was treated like a sad moment, not a warning. Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was known as one of the toughest and most serious wrestlers in the ring. He took punishment like no one else. But in 2007, the wrestling world was shocked when Chris Benoit killed his wife and son before ending his own life. WWE erased him almost overnight. His name was never spoken again. His matches vanished. The company wanted fans to forget. But what was never fully talked about was the damage done to his brain. Doctors later found his brain was badly injured from years of head trauma. Instead of facing this truth openly, silence became the solution. Owen Hart. Owen Hart was not just a wrestler. He was a husband, a father, and a kind human being. In 1999, during a live event, Owen was supposed to make a dramatic entrance from the ceiling. Something went wrong. He fell and died in front of thousands of fans. The most painful part was that the show continued after his death. WWE faced criticism but avoided deep responsibility. Owen's family walked away from wrestling forever. Today, his death is rarely mentioned, as if pretending it never happened makes it hurt less. Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman lived life at full speed. He was wild, emotional, and unpredictable. Injuries followed him everywhere, and painkillers became a part of his life. In 1997, Brian Pillman was found dead in his home at just 35 years old. WWE announced his death and moved on quickly. His struggles with pain and addiction were never seriously addressed. Another life lost, another lesson ignored. Umaga. Umaga was presented as an unstoppable monster. Strong, silent, and feared by everyone. But outside the ring, Umaga was struggling deeply. Drugs and health problems slowly took control of his life. In 2009, Umaga died from a heart attack linked to drug use. He was only 36 years old. WWE released a short message, but the real issue of wrestler support and recovery was never pushed forward. Test had size, strength, and popularity. He was part of major storylines and big matches. After leaving WWE, he struggled with depression and drug use. In 2009, Test died from an overdose at just 33. Later reports showed he had serious brain damage. WWE barely spoke about it. Test became another forgotten name, even though his death showed how dangerous wrestling life could be. Ashley Massaro. Ashley Massaro was young, beautiful, and full of energy. Fans loved her. But after leaving WWE, she suffered from mental health issues. In 2019, Ashley died by suicide. Later, it came out that she had spoken about abuse and emotional pain connected to wrestling. WWE denied responsibility and stayed silent. Her death raised painful questions that were never fully answered. Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man was a legend from the old days. Strong and unforgettable. But years of wrestling damaged his heart. In 2004, he died from a heart attack at 41. WWE mentioned it briefly and moved on. Many legends from that era suffered the same fate, but their deaths were treated like old news. Crash Holly. Crash Holly brought fun and chaos to WWE. Fans loved his crazy energy, but outside the ring, his life was falling apart. In 2003, Crash Holly died from an overdose at just 32 years old. WWE paid tribute once and never spoke of him again. Mike Awesome. Mike Awesome was known for dangerous matches that pushed his body to the limit. Injuries and mental stress followed him everywhere. In 2007, he died by suicide at 42. WWE barely acknowledged his death. His pain was ignored, even after everything he gave to the business. British Bulldog. British Bulldog was powerful and proud. He was a hero to many fans. But years of drug use and injuries damaged his heart. In 2002, he died at just 39. WWE honored him briefly, then moved on. His story became another forgotten tragedy. Rick Rude. Rick Rude was charismatic and unforgettable. But behind the character, his body was breaking down. In 1999, he died from heart failure at 40. Drug use was believed to be a factor. WWE rarely talks about him today, despite his massive impact. Luna Vachon. Luna Vachon was different. She broke barriers for women in wrestling. But after leaving WWE, she struggled with addiction and mental health issues. In 2010, Luna died from an overdose. WWE mentioned her once and moved on, forgetting her legacy. These are not just stories. This is a pattern. Young lives, broken bodies, silent suffering. Fame came with a heavy price, and many paid with their lives. If you are still watching, stay till the end. Remember these names. Share their stories. Wrestling is entertainment, but the people inside the ring are human. They feel pain, fear, and loneliness just like anyone else. Some truths are uncomfortable, but they deserve to be heard.